Welcome back to another episode of Back to the Futures, the official podcast of the Futures League. My name is Owen Shadrick. His name is Matt Ferrero. We've got a lot of Futures League news to go through before we get to this week's episode. But first, Matt, how you doing?
Doing good. Surviving the heat wave that we've had this week. It's been kind of crazy. It's not an amazing time to be playing baseball in my experiences, but we get through it.
Yeah, we are recording this here on Wednesday, June 19th, and it is hot. It is very, very hot outside all week here in Massachusetts. We hope if you are either not in Massachusetts or are, stay safe, stay warm, or stay cold in this case, because it's hot. But speaking of hot, we've got some hot gossip from the Futures League this week, and it comes as another one of our former players and a former MVP is joining the big leagues. Ben Rice has been called up to the New York Yankees, and Matt, he did something pretty special last night too.
Yes, he did. He got his first hit in the third inning, made it bases loaded, almost scored for Dugo, but hey, we'll be waiting a little bit for that RBI, but it's okay.
Yeah, congratulations to former MVP and Worcester Braveheart Ben Rice, who is now in the Yankees big league club. We had him on for season 8, episode 6 of this podcast during the offseason, and he spoke about his dream to be in the big leagues, and that dream is officially here. So congratulations to him. In the meantime, though, let's get back to the Futures League. We've got some standings updates for you. The standings are a lot different than the last time we spoke, so bear with us here. In first place at 11-6 is the Westfield Starfires. Matt's team to watch is certainly doing their part to try and continue that legacy that Matt Ferrero left before the season started. The Norwich Unicorns are in second place at 13-8, followed by the Bravehearts of Worcester and the New Britain Bees. Rounding out the bottom 4 is the Brockton Rocks, Vermont Lake Monsters, Nashua Silver Knights, and the Futures League Road Warriors, who have had a tough stretch lately. That's kind of our team, so I guess we're rooting for you, but we're rooting for everybody. I don't know. We just record a podcast every week. Anyway, Matt, you got some other updates about Futures League media, NCAA tournament, and some players of the week.
Yeah, speaking of the Road Warriors, we have 2 of our guys on the Road Warriors making an exciting and amazing video series called Parks Unknown. It is on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's been great so far. They've gone to Nashua and Worcester, and can't wait to see the rest. And now moving on to the NCAA College World Series. Today, actually in a couple of minutes, we'll have Florida facing Kentucky to see who will win and face Texas A&M for their shot at the championship. On the other side, Tennessee and Florida State will face each other for their shot at the final 2 teams. The Futures League has 3 remaining alumni left in Alex Lodis of FSU, Jackson Appel of Texas A&M, and Dominic Nyman of Kentucky. On to our Futures League Players of the Week. To start off, we have Chris Suter, who had 6 innings pitched and 0 earned runs, only allowed 3 hits, and struck out 5 for the Westfield Starfires. And Tommy Allers, who went 10 for 25, 4 doubles, 5 RBIs, scored 6 runs, and stole 3 bases.
Yeah, congrats to those guys. And it seems like guys named Tommy on the Silver Knights, or Tom or Tommy on the Silver Knights it's like an infection to win Player of the Week. Because the second week of the season, last week's Player of the Week, was Tom Rioux, who was our guest this week on Back to the Futures. Really good to have Tom on the show. He talks about his second year in Nashua, being at Colby and kind of adjusting to his new life as a D3 baseball player, his life in high school. He was a great interview, Matt.
Yeah, he was. And just like you said, he was a great interview, very informative, knew a lot, and he's going to be a great listen for our audience.
Yeah, he's a great listen. And, one thing that he prides himself on is academics, and you can see how smart he is in the way that he presents himself on this podcast. So really looking forward to you guys hearing this. We're going to send you there now. Again, keep track of all of our social medias. We got some great stuff coming up. We're almost a month away from the All-Star game, so plenty of content coming your way in the Futures League. But for now, we'll send it to Tom Rioux. We are honored to welcome on our next guest here on Back to the Futures. He is now a 2-year veteran of the Futures League after playing in 2023 and now 2024 with the Nashua Silver Knights. It's Tom Rioux. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here. Excited. I've seen a lot of these, on the social media. So glad I can finally be a part of it.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you. And one of the things that you've already done this season is win a Player of the Week award after going 7 innings pitched with 10 strikeouts and a 0 ERA. What did it mean to earn that award after, obviously, I mentioned it, playing in 2023 and coming out very, very hot here in 2024?
Yeah, last year, I won, I don't know, maybe one or two Player of the Nights, with all right outings, but um, you know, being pitcher of the week, and I think it was like two outings that were combined. And being, very, very dominant, something that I haven't really had in the Futures League yet. Um, was very nice. It was a nice switch up. And I love playing in Nashua. I live 20 minutes from there. I grew up going to the games, so being able to play for the team and do well is I'm very honored and I'm very lucky to do so.
And yeah, you just mentioned it. You're from Derry, New Hampshire, very, very close to Nashua. When deciding whether to play summer baseball, were the Silver Knights an easy choice?
It was a very easy choice. As I said, being so close, I knew about them. I knew they were very, very good. Just because they've had a past of just winning all the time. So as soon as I got the offer, I knew I was going to accept. Um, my college coaches were thrilled that they had offered me, and that I had a place to go for the summer.
Yeah, and we've seen plenty of guys from your town of Derry, New Hampshire come through the Silver Knights organization. Did anyone in particular help you, or did you ask anybody in particular any questions about it? And what does it mean just to see so many guys from your hometown playing for the Silver Knights?
Yeah, it's awesome to see. One guy in particular that I talked to was George Welch, who is very well known in Nashua. Played there for a couple of years and did very, very well there. We went to the same high school, but he was a few years older than me. But I talked to him, and he was very welcoming and opening, for me to go to Nashua, and he made it very easy to do so. And yeah, I would say him in particular was very helpful.
And how does it feel to get this summer off on a good note with some great appearances under your belt and your second time back with the Silver Knights, and you seem to be a big part of the rotation and the bullpen?
Yeah, so last year I was pretty much a starter. But this year we're kind of going back and forth, which I don't mind. I get my innings. Helping the team win is pretty much all I care about. Um, but getting off on a strong foot makes it easier to pitch, I think, because I have that confidence built up. My stuff feels really good right now. I feel like, I can go out there, I can have a good mound presence. I can blow my fastball by guys and have good off speed. And I think me coming back for a second year, I'm used to, some of the quirks of the league, some of the fields and how things are run. And I'm trying to use that, to lead other guys and let them know how, things go. So I think I have a big advantage being it being my second year. And I'm just trying to use that to help the team win.
And we just talked about a little bit the relievers versus starter mentality. Do you have a different mental approach when you come into a game out of a bullpen instead of having the 45 minutes warm up before, or do you approach it exactly the same?
I think a lot of people would tell you that they approach it the same way, but I think it's impossible to approach it the same way. You know, starters and relievers are very, very different people, and I think they have to be that way. Um, when I start, I feel like, I'm kind of in the zone, I'm relaxed. I can kind of control, what's in front of me. But when you're a reliever, you're kind of just thrown into whatever, and you got to figure out a way to get out of that. And it's almost like you gotta kind of have like a psycho mentality when you're out there, um, which is fun, but it's also, nerve wracking because you don't want to, let some runs in. Um, so I think you gotta have different mentalities, and you gotta learn how to do both.
Gotta pretend like you're Houdini out of there, escaping all these run scoring situations.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as a starter, your relievers are your best friends, and you really appreciate them when they don't cash in your runs. So
And the Nashua Silver Knights coach, Kyle Jackson, is a former minor league pitcher, also from New Hampshire. How has he helped you not only over the summer, but with your college baseball experience?
yeah, so actually, very, very large part of the success that I've had in college was because of K-Jax. Um, when I played last summer, I would, there were things I didn't do well, and he spotted them out, and he lets us know, what he sees. It's very straight up. He tells you how it is. And for me, I think that's a very good thing because I just need to know what I need to work on, and I, don't take it to heart, and he knows that. Um, so, I had things that I did not do well in last summer, and over the summer we worked on them, and I just brought them into school ball, and it carried right over. And some of those things are mentality, mechanics based stuff, but he pitched in the minor leagues. He can spot that thing in a second. So he was huge. Um, yeah, he was huge in my success in school ball.
Yeah, that is not the first time somebody has said that about K-Jax. And from your coach to your teammates in the locker room, how has the chemistry with the team been so far this year?
The chemistry has been really good. Last year's team, the chemistry was all right. I would say it was pretty good last year, but this year's team, I feel like everyone says, "Oh, it's a little different," but I really think that this team is starting to mesh. It's hard to come in here at the beginning of the summer and feel like you know everyone and you're fully comfortable with all the guys, but I feel like we're finally getting to that point where we're all kind of getting comfortable with each other, goofing off in the locker room or locking in when we need to. I think everyone's starting to, get the vibes of the team, and that's very important to winning. Um, in the past week or week and a half, we've we've been playing differently. And I think that's because we're starting to get to know each other.
And we are getting to the point in the season where teams are starting to figure out their identity. What do you believe the Nashua Silver Knights do better than any other team in the league?
Oof. Well, I think we do a lot of things better than teams in the league, but I think I think what the Silver Knights do better than any team in the league is have a good balance of good pitching and good hitting. Something in the league that I think is very, very prevalent is teams either have a really good pitching staff or a really good lineup. And I think our team this year in Nashua is truly a great pitching and a great offensive team. And I think, obviously we didn't have a great start to the beginning of the season, but we just needed to figure out a few things. And I think now and for the rest of the season, the league is going to see that we're a team that, can do everything well. And when we put all those things together, I think we're gonna dominate the league.
Yeah, it's important to try and find your identity this time of year, and you guys are certainly on the right track to try and figure that out.
Yeah, I think so.
And coming up, we are going to talk about Colby, but I want to ask real quick. Colby is a Division III school, so you're coming in here to the Futures League playing so many other guys from different divisions, different schools, and different talent just all across the league, all across the country. What's it like to get that exposure to see different guys from different levels and be able to face them, and in your case, dominate the way that you have?
I'm very lucky that I can, face D1, D2, and just high end collegiate players in the summer. Because better competition, it's going to make you better overall. When you face better competition in the summer, it's going to translate into, D3 baseball where you're not playing as good a talent as you see in the Futures League. So as a D3 guy to kind of get put in some high pressure situations with very talented players, it's a privilege to be able to come and do that and experience that. And that's, if you ask any coach, they'd say the same thing. They love to send their guys to go be able to pitch in these high pressure situations. So I'm very, very lucky to do so.
Hold on, we'll get right back to the Futures. But first, we want to share a message from our friends at 78 Sports. Do you have kids playing baseball or softball? We all know that practice time is limited, especially here in New England. Not to mention the cost of lessons and cage time can add up quickly. Save yourself some time and money by giving your kids what they need to work on their game at home. Our friends at 78 Sports can help you put together the perfect at-home training setup. Whether you want to start small with just a tee and hitting net, or are looking for a full cage setup with turf and a pitching machine, they have you covered. The team at 78 Sports has designed and installed hundreds of home and commercial sports training facilities, so let them help you plan the perfect setup for your space. Visit 78 Sports website at 78sports.com. That's SEVENTY, the number 8, sports.com. SEVENTY, the number 8, sports.com. Now back to your regular scheduled programming. In this season at Colby, you did very well, dropping your ERA to a 3.72, going 5-1 with 32 strikeouts. How did you feel coming out of your sophomore campaign?
I was happy coming out of my sophomore season. Um, I feel like everyone kind of exits their season thinking they can do some things better. And you can, but I was very happy. Colby is a team that has had very recent success, but not a history of success. So keep improving on our season, the wins. It's you can't be angry at a season like that. Um, Colby still hasn't won a NESCAC championship, which is our conference. So we're still kind of looking for that leap, but overall, personally, I was happy with my season. And I'm just looking forward to keep improving, keep winning. Yeah.
Yeah, Colby, 2023, you make the conference championship. 2024, you make the finals for the conference championship. But for the first time in program history, you get a bid to the D3 tournament. What was that experience like being part of that team and being part of history? And how are you guys planning to continue to grow on that?
That experience was awesome. We went to Tufts, we lost. And we knew that our season could very well be over, but we also knew that we could have gotten a bid in. And watching the pick ceremony for the regional tournament, it was very high stress. We were all in a room watching, teams get picked before us, and we finally saw our name, and we were going to go to New York to play in a regional, and we all went crazy. And it's kind of like a flip switched. We all knew that we had more baseball to play. We were going to go play in a regional for the first time, and that feeling was just awesome because our coaches, they work their butts off to get us every opportunity that we can, and doing that with the guys around you just made it really special. So going to a regional was awesome. we were hoping we were going to do a little better, but just going there was huge for our program, and we're hoping that we can do the same next year. Hopefully we can do that by winning our conference. That's the goal, but the regional bid was very nice.
And you talked about Colby having a lot of recent success instead of maybe historical success. What was your first impressions of Colby and playing in D3 that you saw you wanted to go there because of, and you could be a part of this success that's happening now?
Yeah, so out of high school, I had, a lot of D3 offers, some D2 offers, and I was talking to a few D1 schools, but when I was originally thinking about playing college baseball, I always prioritized the academic part of it, way more than, the division of it all, or even how good a team was. I felt like that part came second. So when Colby, expressed interest in me and I looked into the school, their academics pretty much can't be beat. So they were already high on my list. And then like everyone, you narrow your list down and you visit schools, you meet coaches. And as soon as I started talking to the coaches at Colby, once I got there, it was pretty clear that that's where, I needed to be. The coaches had very similar mindsets. They were excited for me to go there. Um, so it was I don't want to say it was a very easy decision, but there wasn't really a close second. And, I knew I could have played a better division of baseball, but that part didn't really matter to me because I knew I was going to be playing competitive baseball regardless. And like I said, the academic part of it couldn't be beat. So it wasn't a tough decision for me. And yeah, I was very lucky that I'm able to go there.
Yeah, the academic part can't be beat, but you seem to be beating the heck out of academics as you are 2024 academic all district and NESCAC all academic. What does that mean? You obviously take pride in academics. What does it mean to be honored in that way by the district and by your conference?
Yeah, the whole NESCAC conference and the schools, the academics will kick you down and keep kicking you down. Um, it's not an easy thing to do to, go to Colby, play a sport, do well and either of them. So to do well academically and get recognized for it is a very, very good feeling because, you see a lot of people see the hard work on the field, but in the classroom, it's just, it's another beast. And to be able to conquer it is a good feeling. Um, yeah.
And one of our favorite things to do before we interview guys is go to the school's website and pray that there's a bio there. And thankfully, there was one for you. So I got to
Oh,
ask.
man.
It says you're studying veterinary medicine. What led to that interest?
So I'm a biology major at Colby, and then hope I will apply to veterinary school after I graduate. But I've I've always wanted to, work with animals. I've always wanted to work with animals. I always thought that, I wanted to be someone to help animals when I was growing up. So it was something that I always said around my house. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a veterinarian. My parents were like, all right, like, go try. It's a long road, but I'm doing it, and it's kind of like a all or nothing mentality. So um, that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Um, that's the plan right now, at least.
That's amazing.
Before we return to Back to the Futures, we want to share a message from our friends at Zorian Bat Company. Rob Zorian started the company, Zorian Bat Company, in 2003, literally out of the trunk of his gold car in Davie, Florida. Within 2 years, he was selling the wood bat line to the MLB and continues to manufacture the highest grade wood bats for the Little League all the way up to the majors. Rob Zorian, founder and president of Zorian, says, I started this company in 2003 to service all baseball players in the United States and beyond. And after 19 years, our mission has not changed. We are excited to have the opportunity to work with the Futures League and wish all of the players and coaches a healthy and successful season ahead. For more information about Zorian, visit their website at zorianbats.com. Zorian, America's baseball brand. Now, back to the Futures.
Switching back over to baseball here, I was a college pitcher, and one thing I love asking college pitchers, especially ones like you who had a big role in their team their freshman year. My first appearance in college, I had one of my teammates when I came off the mound tell me he could visibly see me shaking because I was so nervous. Did you have any nerves entering your first appearance at school?
Yeah, I mean I still have nerves going in. It's just I learn how to manage them. But the first appearance, yeah, I remember it was we were home and we were playing You Made in Presque Isle. I think that was my first one. And it was a very low stakes game. Like it didn't matter. It was a non-conference game. People want to win, but those types of games are kind of like, whatever. But I remember getting in and I think I was shaking and I was trying to throw super hard and I was throwing balls and I think I walked a guy, let up a run, but um yeah, it's nerves or something that you learn how to deal with. And I definitely didn't have that going in. And Colby does mental, I don't want to call it training, but what's the word for it? Like red light routine. Like if things aren't going well, you have this routine you can do. So yeah, my first appearance didn't manage those nerves well, but I'm learning. I'm doing a good job at it now. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Those no's will happen. It is what it is.
yeah.
We talked about Nashua. We talked about college. Let's talk about high school. You went to Pinkerton Academy. What was your experience like there?
It was good. I loved my experience at Pinkerton. Huge school. A lot of kids go there. Our baseball team, it was actually weird. It was a little similar to Colby where we hadn't won in 40 something years and going there I learned a lot. I One of my teammates also plays college baseball and um kind of leading that team with him taught me a lot about being a leader on a baseball team, um you know gritting gritting it out when it gets tough. um so I loved Pinkerton. Won a state championship there my senior year. And it was a great segue going into college. um yeah.
So you just said it. You won a state championship. I mean, you went to a place that doesn't win a lot in Pinkerton. Then you go to Colby, a place that doesn't win a lot, and you're in the tournament. Are you the good luck charm? Is it you? Or are you the answer?
I would like to think so. That's what I've been telling everyone, but they don't seem to believe so. Um, but no, I mean, I think historical success is one of those things you have to take very lightly. It doesn't matter how a team did, 5, even 3 years ago, even a year ago. It doesn't matter. You gotta stay in the present. Win with the guys around you, find a way. And winning makes it all that more special.
And we know with the Nashua Silver Knights, we want to win a Futures League championship. But what do you personally hope to gain out of the Futures League experience this summer?
Yeah, like you said, we all want to win a championship, but summer ball there's a lot of things that summer ball is meant to be. A lot of people think that summer ball is one of those things where you show up, you have a good time, you work on your stuff and you leave. But I think with this group of guys, we're really hoping to build relationships. And that might sound corny, but last year we all built relationships with the guys around us and we use those to either like network or just benefit each other. So I think for this team, if we can learn how to build super strong relationships, it's not only going to help us win on the field, but we're going to be able to have success off the field and whatever that may be. In past teams, I've seen guys get each other jobs because, they have similar interests off the field. And I think if we can do that, we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, there's winning, there's stats, there's whatever you want to call it baseball wise, but off the field, that matters too. And definitely a lot of Nashua teams have had great connections outside of the years that they played. So hoping for that for you guys as well.
Yeah.
We got one final question here before we sign off. We mentioned a couple of great moments in your baseball career, but I want your one all-time favorite baseball memory.
I actually think my all-time favorite baseball memory came. I think I talked about it earlier when we were talking about the regional bid into into the regional tournament this year. Just because we didn't know if we were gonna get in or not. We were really one of those teams that were kind of like on the line, and we were all sitting in this room in our athletic center and not sure if we were gonna be able to play more baseball or play more baseball with the guys that are graduating. And we were just watching the screen, and we saw our name, and we all went crazy. That place was super loud. And just being able to be a part of that, I think was one of the luckiest times that I felt. It was just a privilege to be among the men that were in that room that achieved that. So I think that's got to get it. And then the state championship in high school was also super special. So I'll throw that in as a close second.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be tough to choose one, but those are two great ones to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Tom Rioux, this was great. You were amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We wish you and the Silver Knights the best of luck for the rest of the season, and we hope to hear from you soon, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. This has been season 9, episode 2 of Back to the Futures, the official podcast of the Futures League. We have new episodes coming out all throughout the season. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see everyone soon.